So this week I've been getting lots of inquiries about calming the mind when we've experienced disturbance, when we've received news that's unexpected and that perhaps has a change to what we had planned in our mind for the future. And there are many things that we can do to help return the mind to a more calm space and bring the mind and the body back together. And this is something that Ayurveda really notices or really values, that the shock of change, the shock of news that we're not expecting, has a big effect on our experience of life because it unsettles the mind. So I'm going to just record a series of tips for if you feel that you've been disturbed, that your mind is disturbed, things that you can do. And I'll put it all together in a masterclass too. It's just not here yet. So tips first, masterclass later. So the first thing that's important to think about is that when we get a shock, the mind, it kind of leaves the body. You know, and we know that experience. It starts racing with thoughts, thinking about what ifs, thinking about the scenarios that might take place, and how to solve problems, you know, that come up in these what if scenarios. So the mind starts to race. It goes like that mouse in the wheel, running round and round. And actually, the best thing for the mind to do is come back to the body, because the body has all the organs that will help process those anxiety-producing biochemicals, so that, you know, the shock of the news has turned on our flight or fight response. It's turned on that autonomic nervous system. So we're kind of in an alert and threatened state, an excited state. And we're talking about lots of things that we can do to help bring back calm to the body and mind. So we want to be basically turning off the autonomic nervous system back to the rest and digest. We want to support rest and digestion. And you might notice that one of the things when we get news that's unexpected, that has this impact of changing what we perceived our future was, often what can go out is our sleeping. So either we can't get to sleep because we're thinking too much, or we wake up after having fallen asleep, we wake up with thoughts. Or our eating goes out. You know, we're not hungry, or we're eating, you know, to comfort all the time. So, you know, we talk about flight or fight being the on, being the alert, threatened state, and off being rest or digest. So lots of the tips that I'm sharing here are to help get back to that rest and digest. So the first one to think about is keeping warm. So when we talk about change in Ayurveda, we often talk about vata, that vata goes out. And the energies of vata are cold and dry. So we want to be really aware of anything that is making us feel cold or that is dry. And we want to do the opposite, because we've already got enough change, enough disturbance. That's the vata, enough vata. So we don't want to add any more vata. We want to, in fact, do some supporting. And we want to add warmth, and we want to add moisture, luscious, abundant, luxurious, supporting, juicy life moisture. So warm drinks. It sounds really simple, but drinking cold water or ice drinks, and even room temperature, depends which season you're in. You can tell by my clothing that we're in winter here. So even room temperature can be a little cool right now. So warm drinks, either tea or warm water, if you're comfortable with warm water. It's something I encourage you to experiment with. You might be surprised. And warm milk. You might, if you feel comfortable with milk, when we experience change and we're feeling unsettled and uncertain, milk can be a real comfort to the body. Again, this is for those who feel comfortable with milk, with dairy. You know, can lean a little bit more on milk. So warm drinks and warm food. So want to avoid raw food at the moment and cold food, and really favour warm, nourishing, comfort food, whatever that means for you. All of our cultures have different heritages of comfort food. But whatever that means for you, if that's soups, you know, warm, hearty soups, if it's mashed potato or, you know, shepherd's pie pie or some kind of stew or some vegetable curry, you know, something warm, and feel okay about having those warm spices. If you do like the spicy food and it's okay for you to digest, you can be comforted by and supported by the warm spices like cumin, pepper, paprika, some chili, and ginger. Ginger's fantastic. Some fresh ginger in your curry. Also, you might want to think about drinking ginger tea. Very supportive for the digestion because it helps create heat in the digestion. And if you're suffering from a loss of appetite, ginger tea can help stimulate that. So you might want to, if you don't feel hungry, you know, Ayurveda would definitely say don't eat. When you don't feel hungry, don't eat. Simple. But if you know that you're maybe losing, you know, you haven't been eating as much as you should, you could try sipping ginger tea and then see in an hour or two whether the stomach is now beginning to send signals that it is ready to eat. So ginger tea might encourage an appetite. And there are several ways of creating ginger tea, but easy method is just to get some fresh ginger root from your market or the supermarket. And you can be as simple as slicing. Just slice a piece of ginger. I take the skin off and I just pour the boiling water over that. So slice of ginger in a cup or mug with boiling water. Of course, if you have more time, and it's even better, just grate up the ginger, and then you can either just squeeze the ginger fibres and the juice will come out into the water, or just put the grated ginger in a tea strainer and into your water to access even more of the juice from the ginger. So let's just recap some main things about when you've experienced shock and keeping warm. Warm drinks, avoiding cold drinks and ice especially. Warm comfort food and avoiding raw salads and dry food, like if you would normally have a dry toast or a dry cold sandwich, you know, maybe favouring a soup or a curry or something that means comfort to you. And if you want to stimulate your appetite and increase the heat in the digestive system, ginger tea. Let me know how you go, and wishing you a much more settled experience in the body and mind.